You finna talk about Jeremy Corbyn, independent W, or what? Yeah. Reform didn't do well as predicted. Shame that where I live voted for them. Wait, what do you mean didn't do as well as predicted? No, they fucking did gangbusters. What are we talking about? Oh, predicted as in 13 and only got 5 or 4? No, but that's still, guys, in comparison to the exit polls, they did way worse, but it doesn't matter. They still got millions of votes, okay? It's like the British Nazi Party getting millions of fucking votes. Reform won second in 98 seats. Like, you cannot tell me that this is not legitimately troublesome. This is the British Nazi Party, dude. It is fucking crazy. And here's why it's damaging. Because immediately people start going, Reform isn't as extreme as other right-wing parties in Europe. Like, people are already doing, people have this tendency to normalize extremist politics, okay? And this unfortunately never happens for leftist politics. It never happens for like socialism. It only happens for further and further reactionary right-wing politics. Second place in 98 districts is unimaginably bad, especially because of what I said earlier, that like the conservatives, in order to launch a stronger opposition, will most likely play the role of normalizing reform, normalizing reform's policies. You've seen this already happen with the AfD in Germany. You've seen this happen with Marine Le Pen, the nationalist the party. It starts off marginal, and then before you know it, 2 election cycles later, you're like, what the fuck's going on? How do we get here? And there's always people like myself who have been covering this stuff, who is telling you every step of the way, this is unimaginably scary. Reform nearly got half as many votes as Labor. Quite worrisome here. Yeah, look at this. Labor's landslide victory kind of muddies the waters, given the way that like British politics works, in terms of like what their actual performance in totality looks like. Their actual performance in totality is insanely scary. When you look at the vote numbers across the board, Reform UK got 4 million. They almost fucking reached the conservative number, dude. I don't know what to say. That is so terrifying. That is a red alarm bell. We're talking like we're nearing re-education camp territory, like immediately. Okay. Yeah, this is what's important to analyze. Like, it's a thumping majority without a thumping share in the vote. What could possibly go wrong? Like, Labor doesn't have the popular mandate that that people think it has in terms of the actual seat majority that it has. It's the lowest number of sitting conservatives in British history. Dude, I don't think you understand. Conservatives are out. Okay, yes, and that's a good thing. 14 years of austerity, and finally the British people were like, bro, we are so fucking poor. What the hell's going on? These guys have fucked us. And I heard this 5 years ago, okay? 5 years ago, it was 9 years of Tory austerity. Something needs to change. Obviously, anyone who's the primary opposition party was going to win this election by a landslide. That is not the interesting aspect of this election here. Everybody fucking knew that this was going to happen. Like, Rishi Sunak and the Conservatives were able to unite the British public against the Conservative Party. Problem is, they said, we are so poor, and a large population then said, and immigrants are to blame. Yes, this happened in Sweden. This happened in Nordic countries. This has been happening in Western Europe across the board, okay? Austerity creates more poverty for and more economic inequality in the hands of neoliberal governance. And then people experience that economic instability and that volatility, and they go, oh, I'm angry. And then there's one guy out there that says, you're angry. Look at those brown people. I think that's the reason why you're angry, right? Or in the UK, it's not even just brown people. It's like, look at those Polish people. That's the reason why you're angry, right? And people go, you know what? You're right. Actually, it is the fucking Polish. That is the reason why I'm angry. I don't even like their fucking food. What's this about? It's the same story over and over again. We'll cover this in more detail in a second. Let's see the broader analysis.
Good morning. Well, what a day in British politics, Nancy. After 14 years of conservative rule, which saw the party bitterly fracture over Brexit, multiple leadership changes, and erratic internal divisions during times of national emergencies like COVID and the cost of living crisis, British voters have had enough.
I will also say that the global economic crisis across the board, like the global economic crisis in the Western world across the board, has basically been a repudiation of whoever is in power. This spells trouble for Biden's prospects across the board, even though, he has additional issues as well. But I will say, it doesn't matter who's fucking holding the reins. You know what I mean? Unless they're actually putting straightforward policy measures to combat the affordability crisis in a meaningful way, it doesn't matter what they call themselves. People are going to be like, no, you're done. It is basically a weird time where there is incumbent disadvantage. Last time Labor had a super majority with Tony Blair, he said he regretted not being more progressive. I feel that Labor will do the exact same thing. This man, Keir Starmer, as far as I understand, unless he's been just like secretly faking it, and he actually is a fucking socialist, but he's been secretly faking being a centrist in order to, like, I guess, I don't know, in his own calculations, not put the fear of God in a bunch of reactionary British voters. Unless he like changes course on what he has messaged thus far, I think he's going to be more right wing than fucking Tony Blair.
And as Big Ben strikes 10, the exit poll is predicting a Labour landslide.
Even before a single ballot was counted, it was clear Keir Starmer's Labour Party had won a massive majority. And as the vote counting went into the early hours, it was confirmed. For the Conservatives, the defeat wasn't just crushing, it was a near annihilation. The worst result faced by the party in its 200-year history. Major figures out of jobs.
Dude, they deserve so much worse. I mean, I'm being honest with you, like, they deserve to be imprisoned. This should have been nipped in the bud in the Thatcher era, okay? They should have just straight up done like a people's tribunal on the entirety of the Conservative Party and sent them off to the fucking mines, okay? Instead of privatizing said mines, they should have had state-funded mines that they shipped Thatcher and all of the fucking Tories to, and then done a serious re-education. But they didn't. And the Tories have dominated British politics for a very long time. Specifically, the last batch was the past 14 years. And the UK became unimaginably poor, while also the British wealthy became unimaginably rich, which is, of course, exactly what happens both in America and every other fucking Western liberal democracy, where you have people in positions of power whose job is specifically to do that. Anyway.
But the verdict was also fragmented, reflecting the deep dissatisfaction across Britain. Voter turnout was the second lowest since 1885, with Reform UK, an anti-immigrant party, gaining the third largest share of.
Voter turnout was the second lowest since 1885 is the real sobering number. Dude, do they not vote? No, bro, because Labor sucks dick too. They're hitting America numbers. Oh, by the way, it's percentage, obviously. It's like percentage adjusted to the population. I'm just saying that, like, they're literally doing America right now, okay? They don't even have a fucking electoral college, which basically means that, like, many people just have the reason not to vote. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess it's like first past the poll, so like that's one reason. But even then, is it first past the poll?
First past the post voting system left it with just 4 seats. Still, its leader, Nigel Farage, the right-wing populist ally of former President Trump, won his. The Green Party, as well as independent candidates who ran on platforms to end the war in Gaza, also managed to nab formerly safe seats from Labour. Still, the sheer size of the Labour landslide gives Keir Starmer the most decisive of mandates. After 14 years in the political wilderness, Labour is back, and Keir Starmer is now Prime Minister.
Dude, it is actually really fucking bad. Like, when I say England is so poor, it's not normal, dude. It's like, we're talking Alabama poverty, okay? When I heard that it was either on TrueAnon or Chapo, there was a British correspondent they had on, talk about how, like, some hospitals in the UK can't have fat people on the second floor. I lost my fucking mind because, like, the ground will collapse because of the short-term concrete that they used and then just kept. So you can't even have fat people on the second floor. That's insane, man. What has become of the supposed superiority of the Western world? All these fucking people cope and talk about like Western world is crumbling. Western civilization is crumbling because of gay people. It's like, no, dude, your fucking concrete is crumbling. Okay. Like, what are you talking about? None of your fucking trains work. The fuck are you talking about, dude? China is literally building high-speed rail everywhere, dude. Everywhere. You go to Asia, every fucking country. You go to Africa, they're building shit non-fucking stop. Meanwhile, the UK can't even build their goddamn hospitals, and people are like, oh, the Western world is collapsing. It's like, because of gay people. Yeah, dude, it's gay people that's collapsing the fucking Western world. This is important to understand as well. Keir Starmer received fewer votes than Jeremy Corbyn did in both 2017 and 2019. Remember, Mr. Unelectable. In 2017, he got more votes. In 2019, he got more votes. Mr. fucking Unelectable, okay? Given the crisis within the Conservative Party, Starmer should be cooking, okay? Starmer should be fucking cooking. Like, what are we talking about? He's the guy, right? He's the method. Shouldn't we support Keir Starmer as a visionary leftist, nevertheless, who led to the UK finally back to leftism? Yes, a visionary leftist. He's a revolutionary Stalinist, actually. He's a revolutionary Marxist. I'm super stoked for the UK. He's sending Rishi Sunak to a labor camp. I'm not even kidding. Most people would say yes to that. If there was a referendum on should we send Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak and Boris Johnson and prominent figures in the Conservative Party into labor camp, you would have 98%. You'd have Bashar al-Assad numbers on that referendum. It's not even a question, because like even the fucking Tory voters hate them. So, you know, there you go. All right, Labour wins by a landslide. Let's look at the Starmer versus Blair versus Corbyn comparisons.
Starmer is going to essentially more or less match what Tony Blair achieved in 1997 when it comes to seats in Parliament. But here's what's interesting. Look, this is how many votes across the country, how many people voted for Tony Blair and how those votes stacked up over the course of the count. Let's just compare that with what we've just seen for Keir Starmer. Just have a look at that. Okay, so that is the number of votes that Keir Starmer has achieved, and just look at how far short it is of the number of people who voted for Tony Blair in 1997. It's even short of the number of people who voted for Jeremy Corbyn in 2017, who obviously didn't even get into government.
Yeah, I give 2 years before people are calling him Herr Starmer. I think he's going to be a Macron-style figure that causes so much disdain towards Labour and bring about the fucking Fourth Reich in the UK. That's my prediction. I hope I'm wrong. I really, really, really hope I'm wrong. But I'm telling you right now, it feels like we're at the precipice. If Keir Starmer continues with austerity, if Keir Starmer continues with privatization, if Keir Starmer continues with conservative policies with a fucking red sticker on it, okay? I'm telling you, if he does that, we're talking reform UK. You're staring at the barrel of a goddamn gun, okay? You are staring down fascist mobilization in the UK like you've never seen. Now, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he was lying this entire time. In his entire election campaign, he was just lying, and he's secretly a committed Marxist-Leninist, and he's going to do unimaginable good, okay? Maybe. That would be incredibly hopeful. I just don't think that he would do that, especially considering what the party looks like now, what the Labour Party looks like now in comparison to where it was under Jeremy Corbyn, what they did specifically to like Corbynites and anyone who's like ostensibly a real leftist in the fucking Labour.
I want to thank the outgoing Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. His achievement as the first British Asian Prime Minister of our country, the extra effort.
Yeah, dude. It was so wonderful. It made the already racist British people significantly more racist.
That will have required should not be underestimated by anyone. And we pay tribute to that today. The dedication and hard work he brought to his leadership. But now our country has voted decisively
Yeah, dedication and hard work to further fucking up the country. The dedication and hard work to like leaning into some of the most unimaginably reactionary white nativist immigration policies, despite being like an Asian dude, despite being a brown dude, okay? Rishi Sunak's last ditch effort was literally like, let's just kill migrants. And if we don't kill them, let's fucking just ship their ass to Rwanda. What an insane move, dude.
I have given this job my all, but you have sent a clear signal that the government of the United Kingdom must change, and yours is the only judgment that matters.
He said, who want me? And everyone was like, not me, bitch. Who want me right now? Who want me? Yes or no? You want me? Nope. I love the Democrat style rhetoric coming from Starmer, by the way. Did you guys pick up on that? Oh, to all the naysayers, I'm going to serve you. That is verbatim what Joe Brandon said when he won. Like, that is such classic Democratic Party, mealy-mouthed, liberal, libshit bullshit, okay? Oh, yeah, so to those who don't believe in me, I will serve you perhaps the most. Which is like, what are you saying, dude? No, don't say that, okay? Anyway, yeah, English public on Rishi Sunak TikTok. This is a great TikTok. I know exactly what this is, because this is basically the election.
Excuse me, sir, have you got a message for Rishi Sunak?
Fuck off.
Yeah, you
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Aye, get the fuck.
He's a knob.
Yeah, he's a prick.
He's a cunt.
Have you got a message for Rishi Sunak?
Who?
The Prime Minister.
Ah, fuck him.
Fuck off.